like living with cancer, knowing it's in your body?
I like the way you say living with cancer. I'm not surviving cancer, because it will win, but I am living with cancer.
Based on the stats, Nyree Smith should be dead, but for 7 years, she's beaten the odds.
I question, why isn't someone studying me?
Well, that's what I wanted to ask. Would you want to be studied?
Of course. If I could help, if something I do would help someone else, of course I'd want to be studied. In fact, and I shouldn't really say this, I've offered my oncologist my tumours after I die. Take them, study them. I've had scans since prior being diagnosed, so you can manifest a study of how my cancer's developed.
Are they going to take you up on the offer? That answer later in the podcast. Kia ora, I'm Amanda Gillies, and today on The Detail, pancreatic cancer, the symptoms, the treatments, what's available, what's not, and what it's like to live with it. Pancreatic is among the deadliest of cancers. From diagnosis to death is normally 4 to 9 months. It's brutal. But Nyree Smith is somehow defying those odds. She was diagnosed just over 7 years ago. She's now stage 4. It's terminal, but she's still full of life and on a relentless mission.
If I can save one life, if I can get one person with a stomachache to go to their GP and go, I need further tests, please, and we save a life, yeah, then I've survived this long for a reason. Because I can't work out why. I can't work out why I'm still here.
On average, 15 Kiwis are diagnosed with a gut cancer every day. That's nearly 6,000 Kiwis every year. There are 7 gut cancers. Pancreatic is one of them and one of the deadliest. Awareness and early detection is crucial, and that's what this month, Pancreatic Cancer Awareness Month, is all about. Nyree admits before she was diagnosed, she didn't know much about the cancer and she barely had any symptoms, but she did have a pushy new doctor.
September 2017. I had just recently changed GPs, and my son had been and met the new GP and came home raving about her and said I needed to go and meet her. So I trundled along just for a checkup, and she told me that there were big gaps in my file. So we decided to do a full blood run and start with a clean page, which we did. And then she found something in my liver markers. They were slightly raised, and also that I was pre-diabetic with no diabetes in the family, and I ate pretty healthily. So she asked if I would go and have an ultrasound. So I went, yep, sure, no problem, and went off and had an ultrasound. And it came back and she said, there's nothing I can really put my finger on, but I'm still not happy, and particularly with the raised liver markers. And I pointed out to her that I had been under a liver specialist because I'd had a fall when I was a teenager and had caused a little bit of damage to my liver when I'd landed on a step. And that's all it would be. So, and she said, well, I can't find anything in your files about it. Shall we talk to him? She rang him and he rang me and said, oh, there's nothing wrong with you. It's just your liver that we're watching and you'll be fine. Don't worry about it. I went, okay, that's fine. Yeah, I felt fine. Yeah, I was fit, healthy, walking 5Ks a couple of times a week and wasn't drinking overly much. That was on the Wednesday night. Thursday afternoon, roughly, he rang me and said, you know, you've got one pushy GP. He says, let's have a scan just to shut her up. So I said, okay, that's fine. So he organised it. So I tootled off on the Monday for the scan, went back to work, had the scan, went back to work. In a meeting, get a phone call from him. And I went, oh, that's strange. So in the meeting, I took the phone call. And all I got was, I'm really sorry, you've got something on your pancreas. You need to see a specialist. And I can remember standing there and turning to face the wall thinking, I actually need the wall at my back so I can slide down it. But I just went, that's very nice if you could organise that and let me know. Thank you very much for calling, and hung up and went back to my meeting. So I tootled off and saw a surgeon. He sent me straight within a couple of days for an endoscopy, and that's when they told me it was cancer. It was pancreatic cancer.
When you heard those words, pancreatic cancer, what went through your mind?
Truthfully, oh yeah, it's cancer, we'll fix it.
You weren't overly worried? You thought, I've got this.
I didn't know. I didn't know the statistics. I just thought it would be like breast cancer. Okay, take it out, get rid of it, give me a bit of chemo and I'll be fine.
Yeah, live the rest of your life happily.
Absolutely.
So when did that change? When did you find out just how bad pancreatic cancer was, and how did you feel?
Truthfully, not till the following June. And that was after 2 major operations. When I saw the surgeon, he said, we can do it. Drew me a picture of where the tumour was and everything, booked me straight in. Within just over a week, I was in hospital and being operated on. But when he opened me up, he found that the tumour had encroached too far around one of my major arteries and he couldn't remove it. He took a whole lot of other stuff out. Didn't do any liposuction, unfortunately. Sewed me up and sent me off to chemo. So I had 3 months of chemo, which shrunk the tumour just enough for them to be able to operate again. So then I went through a 7.5-hour operation where they removed the pancreas and a few other things and stitched me up, got me well again, set me off for chemo. I trundled into the oncologist at the end of it, which was when he told me then that at diagnosis they'd only actually given me 9 months. I went home and that's when I started researching it. Up to that point, I had come to the conclusion that I had to put my faith in someone and I was putting it in my medical team. And I wasn't going to look at Google. I wasn't going to do anything else. If I had questions, I went to them and talked to them.
Because what is, on average, from diagnosis to death, what is it with pancreatic cancer?
Currently, it is huge increase. It's now 12% survive to 5 years. When I was diagnosed, it was 5%.
Why is it so deadly? Why is it so brutal?
Unfortunately, the symptoms for pancreatic cancer can be symptoms for anything, and a lot of people fob them off or don't ask the right questions. You can have an upset stomach for a couple of weeks. You could have a sore back for a couple of weeks. You could be losing weight, and yay, I'm losing weight for the first time in my life. But losing weight unintentionally. Early onset or diabetes, when there's no diabetes in your family, I'm saying early onset, they're all could be something else.
What were yours? Did you have any?
No.
Nothing?
Nothing. I don't believe. I have sat often and wondered, did I miss something? But no. I mean, I was fit, I was healthy, no backache, no stomach. I mean...
So nothing out of the ordinary, nothing that raised any red flags?
No jaundice, no loss of weight. Yeah, nothing. And the only reason we found it was because we moved to an amazing new GP.
Had a very pushy doctor.
Ah, she was amazing. Is amazing.
We love her. What are the treatments in New Zealand? So you get diagnosed. What happens?
You get diagnosed. You have to be scanned to find out where and what the cancer is. On endoscopy to find out whether it's cancerous or not. If it is able to be removed, yay. You know, if you get it early enough and the tumour's small enough, you can remove it without it becoming terminal. You can retain part of the pancreas even, so you don't become diabetic, because as soon as you remove the pancreas, you're automatically diabetic.
But I'm guessing the issue is no one notices the early symptoms, so by the time they get checked up, it's too late?
Or they notice the early symptoms, but they pass them off as something else. Or they go to their GP. Hey, I don't knock GPs. They do an amazing job. But in a 15-minute appointment, how are you going to... You have to be your own advocate and say, I've had the sore back for 6 weeks. We need to do something about it. Or I've had the stomachache for 2 to 3 weeks. We need to do something about it. Please, can I have more tests? And it's the only way, because otherwise you end up being diagnosed when it's stage 4, which is terminal.
What are you at the moment?
Stage 4 terminal.
What's it like? Tough question. What's it like living with cancer, knowing it's in your body?
I like the way you say living with cancer. I'm not surviving cancer, because it will win, but I am living with cancer. What is it? It's hard. I take chemotherapy whenever it's given to me. Today is my 96th infusion of chemotherapy.
96.
And what it does to your body alone, let alone the cancer, is horrible.
What does it do?
I'd say the worst is the neuropathy. I can't do up chains anymore because of the neuropathy in my fingertips. My feet suffer badly. They're either burning or they're ice cold, and the pain, which is a really not the right word, but it's the only way you can describe the feeling. It's a tingling pain that in your fingers and your hands that never go away. So there's always this reminder, no matter where you are or what you do, there's nowhere you can escape the fact that you've got cancer. And the reason you've got these is you're fighting to stay alive as long as possible.
Does it reduce you to tears? Do you have days where you just don't want to get out of bed?
Definitely days when I don't want to get out of bed. There are definitely days I don't want to be here. Not that I want to die, but I want it to go away. I want to feel nothing for a change. No pain, no aches, no brain constantly, no matter what I do, going, this could be your last time. We're going away this weekend and we're going down to see my mother-in-law in Tairua. And every time I go to Tairua, and I love Tairua, every time I come home, I go, is this the last time? I don't know. My grandchildren live in Canada and we try and get up there whenever we can. And that's probably the one time I do cry, because coming home, I'm not going to see them grow up. I might not see them again. I am this year because they're coming out for Christmas, but those things are hard.
Do you fear death now?
I don't fear death. I fear not being here to manage everything. My husband calls me a control freak. I don't actually fear dying because I know everything will be over. And once you're gone, you're gone.
And no more pain.
No more pain. But I fear leaving my husband, my kids, my grandkids, and my friends. That's what I fear. Not that I'm a control freak.
This is a really tough question, but in the current state, because I've known you now for a couple of years, how much longer do you think we've got Nyree Smith for? I hope for a long time.
That's a tough one. I'm guessing 12 to 18 months.
Oy.
Probably, I'm thinking possibly around the 12-month mark. I'm aiming to be here for Christmas next year.
You better be.
I want to be, and I will do whatever I can. But the reality is the chemotherapy I'm on at the moment is the last line. There's no more after this in New Zealand. I can't move to Australia, although I have a friend in Australia that keeps telling me I should. There are trials and other drugs over there that I could possibly get on. I don't know. But I can't. When this stops working, that's it. And then it will be 9 to 12 months.
In saying that, 7 years now has it been since diagnosis?
Since September, yep.
That is amazing. Why you? Why do you think you're defying the odds?
I don't know. They caught mine early. I was stage 3 when they caught mine, so I was really lucky. I don't know. That's a question I pose to my oncologist just every time I see him these days. Why me? What is it about me that makes me still here, that I'm still here? I have handled chemotherapy, I think, really, really well compared to people I know personally that have the same chemotherapy and can't cope with it and have to stop it. Why me? I don't know. I don't believe it's positivity because I know lots of people with cancer with positivity and it still gets them. My oncologist once said to me it could be my gut bio. I don't know.
That's why Nyree offered up her tumours to be studied by specialists after she dies. The reply?
Don't have the money. Australia want them.
Send them over there?
Well, my girlfriend over there who works with one of the cancer hospitals, they kept saying, tell her to come and die over here.
A possibility.
No, I can't leave my family and friends, but we keep talking that there must be a way around it. I don't know.
What about, though, in New Zealand, what is available here? Do we have an early screening program in New Zealand?
No,
Why not?
because there hasn't been enough people surviving it to fight for it. That's my theory. They're working on it. There are early screening programs being studied overseas. We have a real problem, I think, in New Zealand, getting these trials here financially. They are so expensive. But if we can bring them here, it would save lives. So there are people studying early detection. There is a AI test that can be done in Canada, which I read about, and you have to have the test every year. And every year, once the blood test is done, it's run through an AI program. And this woman that I read about in Canada, who worked for a health insurance company, decided she had to put her money where her mouth was and start the test. So she did the test, I can't remember whether it was 8 or 5 years. And last year, she got the results back after it had been run through the AI program. And there were markers in there that were raised that she looked at and went, this is not right. So she went to a GP and took the test and says, I want to have further tests. And the GP said, well, we need to do our normal tests first. So she went off and had the normal blood tests and went back to the GP, and the GP said, there's nothing wrong with you. There's no raised markers. What are you talking about? And this woman went, well, look at this test, and the AI program has shown that I have raised markers in this area. I want tests. And so she went off and had the scans and everything, and they found a small tumour on the tail of her pancreas. And when she went in to have it operated on, to have it removed, apparently the surgeon said, I have never seen pancreatic cancer at such an early stage. So they removed it. That's it. She's clear. NED.
Hell, that's a game changer.
Isn't it?
Could we?
We could, yes.
We could get it here.
We have the ability to do these tests here. We can't link into them. I've approached them, pushing me, and they've got labs in Canada and in parts of America, but we can't send the tests up from here, unfortunately. But I have spoken to someone who's told me that we have the ability and the labs to do it here.
And why don't we?
I don't know.
Oh, that's crazy.
Don't know.
This is a simple... Okay, does it come down to cost?
In Canada, the test costs annually $300 to $400.
Nothing.
It's nothing. Yeah.
Wow.
And the beauty of this test is, although it is flagged pancreatic cancer, it would flag diabetes, all sorts of cancers. You know, it's not just pancreatic. Of course, that's my bandwagon.
That's your personal thing.
Yeah.
What I love is that you do this incredible advocacy work. Tell us what drives this and what was around when you were first diagnosed.
Okay. When I was first diagnosed, there was nothing. I went to a cancer group and I sat there and listened to the other cancer sufferers, and I take nothing away from them. But every cancer has its own unique journey. And there was no one I could talk to that had pancreatic cancer, that had gone through pancreatic cancer or knew someone that had pancreatic cancer. No support. The only person I found that I could talk to, I found through an American Facebook page. And we happened to discover that we both lived in Auckland, and we met up. So we would meet up once a month and we could talk. We talk about the fact that we don't have hope, that there is nothing that's going to solve our problem, that it is going to get us. And some of the symptoms, the pain and all sorts of other things. So when I came through COVID in particular, I started talking to people and linking up with other people that had pancreatic cancer or had lost someone with pancreatic cancer. And from that, I've now talked to lots of people around the country and even in America. Yeah. And it's nice to be able to talk to these people, and we're on the same journey. It's hard because I've lost a good number of them.
Too many.
Because generally when I get to talk to them, they're probably way past my stage. but you can't help but make the connection.
We have breast cancer incredible groups and they do amazing. It's very
they
high
do.
profile.
Hosting a Pink Ribbon Breakfast helps raise vital funds for breast cancer education, research and patient support. No matter how you host, every breakfast is perfect for supporting women with breast cancer.
And the same with prostate cancer. But I guess the assumption is there was just no one around with pancreatic cancer. It kills so quickly and I guess families would be so stunned. Is that part of why there were no groups?
Absolutely. About 40 to 50 years ago, the survival rate for pancreatic cancer and breast cancer were similar. The death rate for pancreatic cancer is the survival rate of breast cancer now, roughly.
Wow.
There were people that survived and fought for breast cancer, and I just love what they do. I want my cancer to be like. Does that sound horrible?
No.
I don't mean it. But their support system. You get breast cancer, you are put in a national hug, shall we say. You are supported, your family is supported. With pancreatic cancer, there's hardly anyone to do that, which is why I try. And I look, and not just the patients, but you've got to look at the families. It happens so fast that I talk about the families go through, trying to think of the right word, excuse me, it's Brian, not brain, when the soldiers come back from the war.
Yep, like post-traumatic stress.
That's it, post-traumatic stress. Because it happens so fast that they're dealing with the loss of a loved one, a horrendous loss of a loved one, and everything else around it. You don't have time to prepare, which is why I say that pancreatic cancer is a cancer without hope. We need hope. We need hope desperately. And if I can put a little bit of hope out there, and if I can help someone, just to talk. I have a gentleman that every now and again will ring me at night time and go, put me on speakerphone, please. I say, okay. And we go outside and we scream at the moon together.
Fantastic.
And then we hang up and say, talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Yeah, goodbye.
That's enough.
Yeah.
I love that.
But that's what if I can give some of the hug to help and support, make the road a little bit easier to traverse.
What I love about you, though, is your positivity and you are full of life. Why is that so important to you?
Because it's coming to an end. I don't want to sit around and mope and worry about it. I mean, there are times, middle of the night, yes, I do. I wake up and that's my worst times. But the rest of the time, I want to enjoy my life. I want to do things. I want to be proactive and have fun, make friends, yes, laugh. I love to laugh, and I have a particularly black humour, which some people get a little upset with, but anyway. But yeah.
That's life.
Yeah.
Nice. What do you think your legacy will be? What do you want your legacy to be?
I don't know. My legacy is saving a life, getting the awareness out there. I'm not doing it for a legacy, I'm doing it for now, for the moment, to get it out there. And if I can I don't mean to bang on about it, but if I can help someone be their own advocate when they go to their GP and it saves them from going through what I've gone through, that's my legacy.
That's all for today. The Detail is a newsroom production supported by RNZ and New Zealand On Air. Thank you to Nyree Smith. This episode was produced by Gwen McClure and engineered by Alex Harmer. I'm Amanda Gillies. Matua.